My Soloshot 3 unboxing and overview video is part 1 of this series on the Soloshot 3. If you haven't seen it yet, I recommend you take a look. In this part, we're going to take a deeper dive into using the Soloshot 3 by describing the initial setup and the normal power on process to get your robot cameraman ready to shoot. We'll also talk briefly about some of the settings you can adjust to get the shots you want. As I mentioned in the previous video, the Soloshot 3 is a pretty sophisticated piece of technology that makes use of the Global Positioning Satellite System, or GPS. That means both the tracking tag and the base unit have to get a good signal from the GPS satellites in order to fix their positions and for the base to properly point the camera at the tag. That also means that the basic Soloshot 3 is an outdoor device. Additionally, it has circuitry that detects and warns the user about weak GPS signal reception and other types of electromagnetic interference. Sometimes the fix is as easy as moving a couple of feet and recalibrating. Other times it can seem like a whole site is unusable. I've not found this to be an issue, and my shooting has been done at a radio-controlled airplane airport with lots of radio transmitters controlling model planes. Some, however, have reported issues around metal bleachers and tall chain-link fences. Out of the box, the Soloshot needs to check for the latest firmware version. To do that, you need to have access to Wi-Fi and have a Soloshot account and have a formatted SD card. As mentioned in the unboxing review, start by getting one of the SD cards recommended by Soloshot. They are high-capacity, high-speed cards. The initial setup process is pretty straightforward. The Soloshot 3 base will direct you to connect to the Wi-Fi, enter your Wi-Fi credentials, log into your Soloshot account, and then we'll look for the latest software and start the update process. This video clip will give you a sense of what that looks like. So here's a little bit of a description of the setup process. I'm not going to go through all of it, but I'll give you a sense of what the setup process is all about. First, I'm going to be turning on the device. We got my get started message and the battery indicator shows that it's full, so I'm going to press continue. Now I'll have to connect to my Wi-Fi. I'm going to turn off here while I enter all my secret passwords. So I'm downloading the update. After I logged into the internet, it found an update, asked me to download it. I clicked download. It presented me with the ubiquitous terms and conditions that I hit accept, and now it's downloading the update. Got the last couple of percent of the update to go. Tells me it's preparing to install and the base will restart during the update, and not to turn things off. When you've gone through the initial setup, take some time to work through the various settings and options listed on the app. This includes setting your camera resolution and your tracking options. The various modes, fields of view, and framing options are listed in the downloadable instructions. Take a look at the other setting items too. I've heard several users complain on user groups about things that weren't working when in fact the item was described in the instructions or was accessible through a setting in the base's Soloshot app. It's a pretty complicated device, and While not difficult to use, some things aren't necessarily self-evident. In this video clip, we'll take a look at some of the choices in the Soloshot 3 app. So when your Soloshot boots up, these are the various app items that are available to you. So one of them is tags, track, time-lapse, which is grayed out. It's not available yet. If you slide it to the left, you get a settings icon, an update icon, and a gallery icon, again, which is not available yet, so it is grayed out. Let's take a look at each of these just briefly. The tag item basically gives you the list of tags that are registered for the device, and use the little slide bar over here to turn the tag on or off. When you're out in the field ready to shoot, you've got the tag mounted away from the base. You can go into this screen either via the track mode, which will send you here if you haven't turned it on already, or you start in the tag box, that first item on the app, and simply turn the tag on by sliding the slide switch over. Drag it down a little bit to get back to the back arrow. So now I'm in the information for the tag. So I've got the tracking on. My tracking preferences is to ask me which one, and it gives me the battery life for the tag, serial number, firmware version, which you're going to be able to keep track of here with the updates. So that's for right now, it's 3.0.8. So next we have the track command, and we're going to use the track command when we've got the tags mounted and ready to go. It's not going to work very well here inside the house. Time lapse is not available. It comes in and it says it's coming soon. Then I'm going to move over to settings, and in the settings it gives some interesting things. So first, for Wi-Fi, it'll tell me what I'm connected to, that the Wi-Fi is on, and then I can choose another network. So I have the Soloshot connected to my home Wi-Fi. If I were to take it out into the field and connect it to my phone as a hotspot, I'd use the choose another network and then reconnect to my phone. So that's the Wi-Fi setting. The SD card gives me the opportunity to check the SD card, and it tells me how much I've used, how much video time I've got remaining, how many photos I've got remaining, and then I can format from here if I want to, and I'm not going to format now, so I'm going to leave that setting alone. Display setting, I can change the brightness and tell it when it go to sleep for power consumption reasons. It'll give me a status of the battery. It's plus 86%. It'll give me the date and time. Time zone, I'm here in Arizona, set it automatically, and so I've got that. And then it'll give me my count information, and then just helping about the usual kind of things you're used to seeing on a settings menu. So also on the second screen of the Soloshot app is the update function. And the update function is that which you're going to use to check for updates to the firmware. And so again, it's just a matter of pressing the update function. It'll log in. It tells me that there is a system update available. So there's one that's been released since the last one that I installed. And so now I'll click download. Now it's giving me the terms and conditions. It tells me, I'm downloading software and all the other legal mumbo jumbo. So I will accept and continue. And it begins the process of downloading the update. So now the download is just about complete. It tells me it's preparing to install the update, that the base will restart, and that I should leave it all running. The update is running. You can see that it's up to about 12%. The base is restarting. Tells me the base is updating now, flashing the little chips there on the computer. The update's complete. And now we're just rebooting as you would when you powered it on. So with the update complete, the little Soloshot 3 icon comes on as the base is booting up, as you normally see when you first turn it on. The next step in the update process is to update the tag. There's 3 parts: the base, the tag, and the camera, and all need to be updated at the same time to have the current set of drivers and so forth loaded. So we'll press next. And it tells me to undock the tag, turn it off, and then press and hold the plus and the power button to get into the update mode, which has this little diagram on it. So let me do that. So you can see that I've got the update icon there on the tag. I'm going to pop it back in. Tell it to update. And it starts the familiar count up. So the update process on the tag is just about complete, and it tells me that the update is successful and that I should reboot the tag. So I'll press continue. And then it gives me the instructions to reboot the tag. I'm going to take it off the base, power it off, power it on, and put it back on the base. So I've got it back turned on. Reattached to the base. And next it'll ask me if I have another tag. Now I'm just using one tag, so I'm done. Next, we'll update the camera. And again, the familiar count up. It tells me the camera update was successful and to continue. And now my Soloshot app is back on the screen with the update complete. So that's the update process. Now here in the track menu, I wanted just to point out that this menu up here, and so this home button will take you back to the home. This button will take you to the Wi-Fi. It'll list all the Wi-Fis that it senses here in my neighborhood. This button here gives you the little up and down, side to side, plus zoom and minus that will show you when we're outside and we actually have the camera recording something, but that allows you to manipulate where the base is pointing the camera. A done button there. And then the settings button, which is going to be kind of important, and that's going to take you to your camera settings and your tracking settings. So let's look at those very quickly. First, in the camera settings, you can tell it to either shoot video or to take pictures. In video, it gives you a number of resolutions to choose from. It comes up in default as 1080p 60. I usually shoot in 1080p 30, so I'm going to change that. And the mode is video. If I press on the video again, I can change it to photo, in which case I can change it to photo mode of a single, just taking one shot, or I can change it to the burst mode, which it'll take a shot every number of seconds that I specify. So if I go to burst, it'll tell me to burst, and then it'll take 30 photos in 10 seconds, so that's pretty fast. I can take it to be fairly faster than that. So here, 30 photos in 3 seconds, so that's 10 photos every second. So those are my burst rates that I have available. and then the delay. So if I want to wait until I start taking the photos, I can set a timer. So if I'm going to go out to my bicycle and hop on and before things get started, and I choose not to trigger it using the tag, then I can set a time delay here in this camera setting. So let me set this back to video. Now here I also have my tracking settings, and these are also important. So in this case, I normally fly model airplanes, so I'm using the flight mode. But if I were to be doing, BMX, where the kids are going up and down moguls, I could hit terrain. Or if I'm just doing the people playing soccer, I could use the field mode. And then if we were watching some activities on the lake, surfing, that kind of thing, I could go to water. I'm going to keep mine in flight. The field of view is next. I've got extra wide, wide, medium, and tight. Now the tight for model airplanes really brings it in pretty close, but it has some trouble tracking because the narrowness of the field of view. And so I have found that medium and wide are best for model airplanes. You're going to have to experiment depending upon how you're using your Soloshot to pick what's best for you. The next is the framing. And in this case, it's only giving me center framing. Now, if you look at the downloadable instructions, it talks about other framing choices. They were available in the first round of software. They haven't been available since. So I'm assuming that they're doing some extra programming work here, because even in the wide framing mode that I just changed it to, it still gives you only center framing. The instructions will call for framing all across the frame that you can set. Right now, that's not available. And then trajectory. Trajectory is the amount of time the camera will continue to pan in the direction if it kind of gets lost or loses a signal. And so again, with my model airplanes, I've been bringing the trajectory smaller and smaller. The 2-second trajectory worked pretty well, but I'm going to try 1-second trajectory and see if I can't keep the camera on the plane a little better when I do a fairly quick turn reversal with my model. So I've now made that adjustment. So those are the settings that you're going to be able to make here in the tracking mode. And if you were then ready to actually turn the camera on and start your work, we'll show you how to do that outside as opposed to here in the house. For everyday shooting tasks, the process of getting ready is pretty straightforward and much less time-consuming than previous Soloshot models. This video clip shows you the steps to get ready to shoot. So I've got the Soloshot on. The Soloshot app is displaying. I'm going to start by clicking on track, which is what I want to do. I'm going to click the track button. It recognizes the tag that I've already set up. So I'm going to look at my settings, the tracking settings, show mode is flight, which I want, field of view. I found wide works best for flight with the way I fly my airplanes. The framing is centered, that's good. And the trajectory is 1, which I'm going to be trying today. I've been using various trajectory settings. Then I'm going to go back, look at my camera settings. It's in video, 1080p by 60. I want to record in 1080p by 30. So I'm going to make that change, 1080p 30. So I'm going to go back, leave settings, and then I'm going to press track. So I'm going to press track. It verifies that I'm in flight mode. I'm going to press continue. It tells me that I need to calibrate, so I'll do that. Now it counts down to calibration. Notice each pass the camera gets a little lower. And now the tracking's complete and it's pointed at the tag. I'm going to do the walk back and forth thing here in just a second, but notice that I've got some color bars instead of the camera preview. So I'm out here about 30 or 40 feet from the Soloshot. The green LED is flashing. I can see it, and it's following me. So what I'm doing now is just simply giving it a chance to get a sense of where I am, so that when I put it in my airplane, it'll have a nice, tight lock on the tag. So you noticed a minute ago that I had some color bars on there, and that's a bug. It's supposed to go into the camera preview mode. So I took it out of tracking, went to the home screen, closed that session, went back to tracking, went directly to the track command, and as you can see, now I have the preview. So that's one of the remedial suggestions Soloshot has on its website, and as you can see, that it works. So somewhere in that setup process, something gets lost in the little computer and the preview doesn't load, but in fact, you can easily get to it. There are a couple of things you need to know to avoid problems when getting started. One is that it's best to set the turned on tracking tag 25 to 30 feet away from the base before turning on the base. Remember, bases use GPS to determine both its position and the tags. GPS accuracy means there is a near or close limit for the tag when the base can't properly determine its position. Next, once the calibration is completed, move the tag back and forth in front of the base at that 25 to 30 foot distance. That will help the base zero in on the tag. Now let's take a quick look at the tag. The small screen displays several small icons. It shows the tag's battery status, whether it's being tracked, whether it has a good GPS signal, and a record icon. Next to the display are two buttons. Pressing and holding the power button turns the tag on or off. The other button, which is labeled with a plus sign, is used to control tracking and recording from the tag. Pressing and holding the button will toggle recording on and off. When off, a slash appears through the recording icon. A double press on the plus button starts and stops tracking. As with the record command, a slash through the tracking icon indicates tracking is off. Tag control of these two functions allows you to control your base whenever the tag is within range of the base. There's also a bright green LED on the base that flashes slowly when tracking is active. For example, you could calibrate your base station and get everything set up and then leave the camera while you go to where the activity will occur, such as the start of a BMX track or out to the surf. In this way, you'd save a bunch of wasted recording space. Obviously, you can perform these same tasks on the base too. Just touch the track or record buttons on the touchscreen as appropriate. The other command on the base's touchscreen is the word live. By connecting your Soloshot to your smartphone's Wi-Fi and with a good data signal, you can live stream your recording using the Soloshot app. Your video stream will be available to others using the Soloshot app. Your data connection speed will have a lot to do with the quality of your stream. This video wouldn't be complete without some footage taken with the Soloshot and the Optic 65.
seen them. They're pretty cool.
Don't let go of the letter. You hold the set the knife edge and use power. Now see how strong it is without power. They're talking about it. There are two additional icons on the Soloshot app on the base. They are the time-lapse photo app and the gallery app. As of this review, those two functions aren't available yet. The downloadable instructions describe the motion time-lapse function, so that's hopefully not too far away. The gallery app, too, is not yet active. This app will allow you to see your photos and videos on the base's screen. Now you have to remove the SD card from the camera, insert it into an adapter, and plug it into a computer. So that brings this brief tutorial to a close. I hope you found all this helpful in either helping you operate your Soloshot 3 or in deciding whether to purchase a Soloshot 3. If so, please click on the thumbs up button for this video and be sure to subscribe to the Gadget Talk channel to be notified when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching.